Alright guys, how are you doing now? This is part 2 of the Amoon guitar. So if you watched the first video, so I unboxed this thing. When I was editing the video, I kind of lost, I don't know, just rookie mistakes. I deleted some clips by accident when I was trying to cut some elongated talking parts. And so I wanted to show you, when I got this guitar, when I took it out of the case, the neck was like backbowed like crazy. It was unreal. So I just, I assumed that the truss rod was broken, but lo and behold, when I loosened it and allowed the neck to get some relief, it straightened right up. So anyway, I let it sit for all of yesterday after I did that video, and it seems to be holding fine. And I lowered the saddles to get the string height to where I like it. Just wanted to see how bad like the fret leveling would be. So you can see here, I'll have to do it this way. So let me lower the volume here. So you can see how leaned downward these saddles have to be, right? Because it's a top loader. So the bridge saddle screws are above, the strings. So when you lower your action, the front of the saddle comes down like this. So I don't know if that's okay. I can't see why that would be a problem, but if anything, it might affect maybe intonation or how these screws sit flat against the back of the bridge plate. Maybe I don't know. I don't know if that's a problem, but I've never had. None of my guitars have the saddles like really cocked downward that way. And to do that too, you'll see the height of those adjustment screws. Like there's a good, 1/8 of an inch of screw sticking out past the saddle. So that'll have to be addressed. So I guess the reason for this video is that I want your opinions. You guys are all like guitar people, and you mod guitars, and you've bought and sold stuff, and So I bought this guitar because, number one, it was $169. I got a $10 coupon. It came out to $159 plus taxes. Here in PEI, we have 15%. Free shipping because I'm a Prime member. This came out to about $180, maybe 188 or something. I can't remember. Anyway, cheap guitar. Pretty much like my IYV, cheap. And that telly is awesome. So, and what I really liked about it was kind of just the white, the color, and with the black pickguard. And I kind of like this pickguard. I kind of like how, it kind of looks like a Carbonita style, but not really. And I like how it's kind of like cut around the bridge plate, but then it has that roundish, I don't know. I think it looks different, and I kind of like it. So that's what caught my eye. And the guitar, body-wise, is nice and clean. The edges are nice and rounded, a little more so than a traditional Telecaster, like by the F Word brand, and I kind of like it. But the neck, not too impressed with the neck. I saw Two Bike Mike's video of his unboxing, and he said the same thing. The fret ends are super rough, and the frets needed some major work. And I know Mike, he's going to have all his guitar leveled and dressed and polished, and it'll be bang on. And he said as well that the tuners weren't very good. So I guess what I want to know is, should I keep this thing and, hot rod it, new pickups, new electronics, probably a new neck. I'd probably replace the neck. And it's definitely going to need some tuners. But if I do that, I'll have probably a little over $350 into it by the time it's done. But again, it's a $350 guitar, and it'll be awesome by the time I'm done with it. Or I could just return it and get another one, and hopefully get a better one. Because when I was talking with Mike, he mentioned that his was good out of the box, like other than the common stuff. But So, you know, he mentioned that his neck was nice and straight. He said it probably wouldn't have needed a fret leveling, but he was doing, you know, he was going to polish them up anyway. So he figured I might as well make it perfect, like he likes them, and totally understand. But he said the frets seemed to be not too bad. So I think maybe this one was just, you know, near the end of the lot. I know when I was looking at them, there was only 4 left of the white. And when I ordered it, they didn't have a shipping estimate for me. So they kind of, I kind of had to wait for a while. And so that was like about 2 weeks when I ordered it. And then I only got it, like I ordered it right after Christmas, I think. And then I only got it like, what, Friday? Like this past Friday. So, and tomorrow is the 9th. So I guess I got it on the 6th. But I ordered it the 26th or 27th or whatever. So, you know, about 2 weeks almost. So, I don't know. And then a friend of mine told me, why don't you just sell it? Like it's beneath you, because he knows I play in a band and he knows I have some really good guitars as well. And he says, it's beneath you. It's beneath you. And I'm like, I don't think it's beneath me. But so why don't you, if you want to buy a cheap guitar, at least buy a name brand cheap guitar. But so here's my dilemma. Okay, so like I told you, if I put money into this, and I know this guitar to purists is worth absolutely nothing, but for the price, my bank account is relatively unhit, and I could make something really good out of this, and the body is every bit as good as any Fender guitar I'd find in my local music store. So I have no qualms about the body. I know some of you might say, well, it's not a string through. I know, exactly. I don't want a string through. I have all string through bodies right now on my guitars, and I'd like a top loader. And there's nothing easier than drilling the holes and buying the ferrules and just popping them in there. So I'm not too concerned about that. But so here's my dilemma. If I buy, so the cheapest of the cheap Fender Telecaster would be an Affinity. So if I buy a Squier Affinity guitar, here in Canada, like I just checked on Amazon, they're a little more expensive at the local music store, but on Amazon they're $400. They're $399.99. Again, plus 15%, and because it's taxes for PI, okay? So plus that 15%, and because it's not sold by Amazon, as a Prime member, I don't get free shipping. So I'm looking at here in PI, I think it was almost $40 to ship, 38 something. So if you do the math and you add everything up, the guitar is just over $500. So I buy a cheap F word, right? Instead of Amoon, it says Fender on it, and for about $500, and it's gonna have a lot of the same cheap, you know, mass-produced Chinese hardware that this guitar has. It's going to have a box switch. It's not going to have a blade switch, that's for sure. It's going to have the cheap pots. It's going to have probably stamp saddles. I don't even know if they'll be solid like this is. And I don't know if it'll have the little groove in the middle there that the string can actually sit in and not float on the saddle. And it'll have cheap pickups. It'll probably have, maybe a little better tuners than this, but not much. And the nut won't be any better, and I'm sure the fretwork might be better. Hopefully it'll be a little better, but it probably won't be to my level like of expectation. So I'd have to get a fret leveling done. So that being said, if I buy that guitar, I would change the pickups. I would change the nut. I would probably upgrade to tuners. I would get a fret leveling done. I don't do that. I have a guy who does that for me. And you know, I would definitely do some mods. The only difference is after that guitar would be done, if I put a couple $100 in that guitar, now I'm up to $700, $750, and I have Squier Affinity on the headstock. I'm never getting that $750 back, even though I put in the work and the guitar is like perfect. And nobody would dish out that kind of money. If they're interested in the headstock name, for that price, they're just going to buy a mid-level Telecaster as opposed to buying an Affinity for that price. You know what I mean? So it's because it's associated with the name. Whereas this name is associated with being inexpensive. But at a $350, you know, totally modded guitar, some guitar players would see the value of having an instrument that they don't have to really worry about in a bar or whatever. and perfectly set up and good hardware, good electronics. So I've always found here, and maybe it's just an East Coast thing, but you can recoup that money. It's not a problem. So I was thinking, if I keep even just the body, I could probably do something with this. Because I don't know if I trust this neck. Like, this neck is nice, but you see how the grain, I don't know if it'll come up, but the grain is linear at the bottom. But it's swirled at the top. It's like circular at the top. And in the middle, there's like a knot, right? So when they cut the board to make this neck, there was a knot in the middle of it. And I don't know over time if this knot will cause problems. Because I know, when you deal with pine or wood, and they have the big knots in them, which gives it the character, but those knots, they shrink and expand at a different rate than the actual wood, right? Excuse me. So, so I don't know if this will be a problem, right? So I don't want to really put a lot of money in this neck and then have to replace the neck in 6 months, a year, or whatever, because of humidity here in PEI or lack thereof here in the winter. So that's why I was thinking I'd swap out the neck, but then you're getting into more cost. But then if I buy a cheap brand name guitar, I'm already up into the cost that this would cost completed, and then I still have to mod it, right? So I don't know what to do. But anyway, so I tuned this up yesterday when I lowered the action, and just now when I came, this prompted me to do this video, is I need you guys to check this out. So, and I swear on my mother's grave that I didn't do anything to this. Like, you can see that the frets are all still crappy. You can hear them. They're super rough. The only thing I did was lower the action. I just wanted to see if this guitar would be playable. And of course, I had to take the bend out of this neck to see if the truss rod actually worked. Surprise, surprise, it did. All these saddle screws worked. The truss rod worked. I was able to get it to pitch. And these cheap strings and these crappy string trees worked. So here's why I'm kind of thinking about keeping the guitar, or at least ordering another one, is because, and I don't understand this. So the tuners are crap. The string trees are no good. The nut is just plastic. It's no good. It seems to be cut at the right depth though, and they're clean cut, but some of the strings are really stuck in there. I had to pull them out, I had to pull them out to adjust the truss rod, so I could separate the strings. And this tone pot was scratchy. It's just, it's really cheap, and yet the thing stays in tune like crazy. So watch this. It's in perfect tune. It hasn't gone out of tune since when I set this up yesterday. That's not even possible with all this crappy hardware on it. And this bridge pickup actually sounds pretty good. The neck pickup is muddy and kind of blah. All the strings are balanced though, right? They're not louder than any others. You hear all the notes of the chord, but it's very dark. And in the middle, that bridge pickup has some snap to it. And with the neck being that backbowed, and just, you know, using the truss rod to kind of bring it back, and not doing anything to the frets, it's surprising how it doesn't fret out. As high as I can go. Right? Like, what the heck? And still, it's still tuned. So that's where the dilemma is. So now I'm thinking, all right, if this guitar is this capable, with all these crappy parts on it, imagine if I put a Fender Tele, like an actual Fender branded Telecaster neck, with maybe a straight 12 radius, a Graphtec nut, or maybe even a bone nut, some nice Alnico, you know, high output pickups in there, blade switch, some new tone pots, maybe some locking tuners. Man, this would be a higher end Fender competitor right here. You know, for the base price of 180 bucks, shipped across Canada to my door in PEI. So, right? So that's where I'm kind of where I'm struggling. But then also I think, well, I could just buy something a little better straight out of the box and not have to put so much money in it to get the same amount of, you know, the same quality or same amount of gear that I would have if I did all that to this. But I don't know. Anyway, I'd like you guys to comment, see what would you do, or what do you think? So Two Bike Mike had a good idea. He said, you know what? Order, you know, there are no white ones left, and I don't want to order a blue one because Two Bike Mike just ordered the blue one. I don't want to order the two-tone one, the sunburst one, because it's not my favorite look on a guitar. And so I ordered the black. The black one looks like it's a matte black. It looks kind of cool. It has the white pick guard. So he said, why don't you order the black one, and then when you get it, look at it, see if there's, you know, if there's really a big difference, and if there is, keep the black one, send the white one back. So, and if there isn't, well, then you can send the black one back and do what you want to do with the white one, since you already have it and it's unboxed and everything. So I think maybe I will do that. But in the meantime, I'd like to know what you guys would do. You know, if it was you, like, would you say, there's too many cons for the pros, I would just send it back? Or, yeah, you know what, sounds good, stays in tune, blah, blah, that's good, that means the bones are good, so go ahead. I'm just a little worried about this, you know, this knot in the back of the neck. You don't really feel it, but there is like an inconsistency there. There is a little divot. And the neck, you know, it's super dry. The frets are, I don't know, they're just terrible. But you can still play this thing. So it's a little bit of buzzing as you get to the 12th fret on the low strings, but they're, you know, minor. However, it's not the guitar's fault, right? Like starting to get a little pitchy now. But I've been bending the crap out of these strings. I don't know. I think I'm going to end up with one of them, either the white one or the black one, but I want to see if there's a difference in quality from guitar to guitar, or if they're all kind of the same. If they are, then I guess it doesn't really matter which one I keep. But so I'm going to go ahead and order that black one, and you guys let me know what you would do or what you think, and I will be in touch with another video when the black one arrives, and we'll compare the two, and then I'll make my decision. Thanks guys and girls. See you later. God bless.